What happens when a paradise has no military, almost no enemies, and is considered the happiest country in Africa, yet the people who live there say they are only happy on YouTube? In the Indian Ocean, Mauritius is an island smaller than the city of Houston, where 4 religions coexist along a single street, and crystal-clear lagoons surround the coastline. But behind the luxury resorts lies a history of slavery, the disappearance of the dodo, and a high cost of living that tourists rarely see. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and comment where you are watching from. Then join us as we uncover the other side of paradise in Mauritius. Number 15. Mauritius, Africa's most crowded yet happiest island. Around 1.3 million people live on this island, making Mauritius one of the most densely populated countries in the world, with nearly 1,700 people per square mile. Located in the Indian Ocean, about 1,100 miles east of Madagascar, the country is far more crowded than its peaceful appearance suggests, times 3 says. Yet Mauritius is still regarded as the happiest country in Africa. According to the 2025 World Happiness Report, it ranked 78th worldwide, ahead of many wealthier nations and first on the continent. Why Mauritius? The answer is not found on its beaches, but in the way the country invests in its people. Education is free all the way through university, while public health care is available to everyone. For students, senior citizens, and people with disabilities, buses and light rail services are also free. A child born in a fishing village in the south can attend school, earn a university degree, and receive treatment at a public hospital without having to pay for those essential services throughout their life. Time, 3 Z's. This system is supported by an economy that generates about $11,900 per person each year, along with the highest level of human development in Africa and one of the strongest passports on the continent. But this prosperity still has another side, and it will appear where few people would ever expect it. Number 14. Mauritius, a country without an army. Mauritius has no standing army, not a smaller military force, not even a ceremonial unit time since 3s. Since gaining independence in 1968, the country has never established an army. Instead, Mauritius maintains a police force, a paramilitary unit known as the Special Mobile Force, and the National Coast Guard to protect its waters. No tanks, no fighter jets, and no generals. Even more remarkably, the country has no enemies, no border disputes, no fear of neighboring nations, and has not experienced a war since independence. In 2025, Mauritius was ranked the most peaceful country in Africa and 22nd in the world. Power is transferred through elections, not military coups, within a parliamentary system influenced by Britain. So where does the money that is not spent on soldiers go? Mauritius invests it in its people, from schools and hospitals to public transportation. The country chooses to protect itself by ensuring that its citizens are educated, healthy, and properly cared for. Time lease 3s. Its security does not come from an army, but from political stability, a passport welcomed in nearly 150 countries, and a long-standing habit of staying away from conflict. Number 13. The real Mauritius begins beyond the resorts. Step beyond the resort, and the real Mauritius begins to reveal itself. In markets and family kitchens, the language you hear is not the English or French found in textbooks, but Mauritian Creole, a French-based language spoken daily by most of the population, even though it has never been legally recognized as an official language. This language developed naturally from the history of the communities that were once brought to the island. Everyday life still revolves around multi-generational families, the sea, and local markets. Time. In Port Louis, the central market awakens every sense with piles of mangoes and lychees, the aromas of chili and cumin, and vendors calling out their prices. Here, bargaining is not considered rude. It is part of the conversation, and a way for strangers to gradually become familiar with one another. Beneath this rhythm is Sega, the music and dance created by enslaved Africans who were brought to Mauritius. The sound of the Ravan drum, made from goatskin and warmed over a fire, once carried their pain times threes. Today, that same rhythm fills festivals and weddings that last for several days, where Hindu, Tamil, and Creole traditions come together around one table. Mauritians often say that you do not come to Mauritius for its buildings. You come for its people, and you stay because they welcome you with genuine warmth and open hearts. Number 12. Mauritius, a mirror for a divided world. On a single street in Mauritius, you may pass a Hindu temple, a Catholic church, a mosque, and a Chinese pagoda, all within sight of one another. Mauritius is also the only country in Africa where Hinduism is the largest religion. According to the most recent census, nearly half of the population practices Hinduism, about 1/3 follows Christianity, and almost 1/5 practices Islam, alongside Buddhist communities and many other groups. This diversity did not appear by chance. It was shaped by a deeply painful history. Mauritius once had no indigenous population. The people living there today are descendants of enslaved Africans, Indian laborers, Chinese merchants, and European settlers who were brought to the island. When they could not leave, they had to learn how to live beside one another. Over generations, that necessity gradually became mutual respect. Today, Mauritius observes public holidays for Diwali, Eid, Christmas, and Lunar New Year, even though much of the population does not share the same faith time. 3 Zazas. Local people describe their country as a genuine cultural blend, where differences are not erased but accepted. Mauritius therefore stands as a mirror for divided nations, showing that living closely together out of necessity can become harmony when people choose to make it so. Number 11. Mauritius, the island of never-ending festivals. On this island, a festival takes place almost every month. The most remarkable is Maha Shivaratri, when hundreds of thousands of Hindu devotees walk to the volcanic crater lake of Ganga Talao. Many travel barefoot, carrying wooden shrines on their shoulders. To them, the water of the lake is as sacred as the Ganges River itself. 3 Z's. This is one of the largest Hindu pilgrimages outside India. The tradition began with Indian laborers who arrived in Mauritius more than a century ago. Unable to return to their homeland, they brought their deities with them and created a Ganges of their own. Along the streets, Thaipusam Kavadi draws devotees who express their faith through ritual skin piercing. Diwali transforms entire neighborhoods into seas of light. Holi covers crowds in color, while Eid, Christmas, Lunar New Year, and Sega festivals follow one another throughout the year. What remains most memorable is not only the vibrant rituals, but the way the entire country takes part. 3's. When one community celebrates a sacred holiday, schools close, shops shut their doors, and neighbors come together. After every festival, people gather around a shared table, filled with dishes from many different cultures. In Mauritius, 4 religions can share the same street, and 4 kitchens can share food from the same plate, as a natural part of everyday life. Number 10. 300 years of history in Mauritian cuisine. Mauritian cuisine reflects more than 300 years of cultural exchange among India, Africa, China, and France on a single island. Its most iconic dish is dol puri, a soft, thin flatbread filled with ground yellow split peas, then wrapped around curry and pickles. Famous stalls can sell thousands each day to people from every community, often for only a few coins time. Right beside it, you will find gâteau piment, small fritters, made from seasoned lentils, fried until crisp on the outside, while remaining soft in the center. On the same plate, Creole rougaille brings together tomatoes, thyme, and chili, while biryani and samosas carry the rich flavors of India. From the ocean, Fresh octopus is grilled or prepared as vindé, while Chinese-style mine frite can be found on street corners across the island. To finish the meal, there may be a slice of coconut cake or a cool glass of alauda, gently sweetened and filled with basil seeds. Time. What makes these dishes special is that they often appear side by side in the same meal, reflecting how different communities have shared flavors across generations. In a single afternoon, you can taste nearly the entire history of Mauritius without opening a book. Each family still protects its own recipes and passes them down through generations as part of the family's identity and memory. And if you enjoy honest stories about the world, join our community time. 3s. Subscribe and continue exploring places that few people truly understand. Number 9. The Blue Penny and Mauritius's unique heritage. In 1847, Mauritius became one of the very few places outside Britain to print its own postage stamps. The most famous were the blue penny and red penny stamps. One surviving blue penny was once sold for more than $1 million, making it more valuable than a coastal home. Today, it is preserved behind glass in a museum in Port Louis. Its extraordinary value does not come from its size, but from its rarity, and the belief among collectors that one rare object can become an entire fortune. In the late 1890s, American writer Mark Twain visited the island and left behind a remark that Mauritius still proudly repeats. This place seemed to have been created first, and heaven was later copied from it. Inside modern nature reserves, the giant tortoises you see are not entirely native to the island. Mauritius's original tortoises became extinct, so conservationists introduced Aldabra giant tortoises to replace their role in eating fruit and spreading seeds like ancient gardeners, returning to a garden that had lost them. In 2014, Sega music and dance were also recognized by UNESCO as intangible cultural heritage. Even more strangely, Mauritius has no officially designated national language, while the island's entire story began in a place that was once completely uninhabited. Number 8. The painful history behind the paradise of Mauritius. For most of its history, Mauritius was uninhabited. There were no indigenous people and no original tribes. About 1,000 years ago, Arab sailors called the island Dina Arobi. In the early 1500s, the Portuguese stopped there briefly and then left. In 1598, the Dutch established a settlement and named the island Mauritius after a prince. The French later renamed it Île-de-France, before the British took control time, the Ries. Every Mauritian today is descended from communities brought to the island by colonial empires. Enslaved Africans were forced to work on sugarcane plantations. When slavery ended, Indian laborers continued working in those same fields, while Europeans remained in positions of power. At Le Morne, the basalt cliffs in the southwest once sheltered escaped slaves, who chose to live among danger rather than return to captivity. Then came the dodo, a flightless bird found only in Mauritius. Because it had lived for so long without natural predators, it never learned to be afraid, time freezes. When sailors and animals from their ships arrived, the dodo simply stood and watched. Less than 100 years later, the species had disappeared completely. Today, the dodo appears on the national coat of arms as a warning of what can be lost forever. Now, the people of Mauritius are facing a different kind of loss, because paradise always comes at a price. Number 7. Mauritius, beautiful on screen, difficult in real life. Turn over the Mauritius postcard and look at what lies behind it. More than 75% of the food consumed by local people must be imported, so prices depend on cargo ships, storms, and declines in the value of the Mauritian rupee. Meanwhile, workers' wages have failed to keep pace. A sugarcane worker laboring beneath the sun may earn less in an entire month than a tourist spends on one night at a resort. The most beautiful beaches cost nothing to photograph, yet the person who cleans them may need to spend more than a full day's wages just to buy dinner. This is the contradiction that tourism advertisements rarely mention. For visitors, Mauritius is paradise. For those living on an average salary, every day can become a struggle. Many retirees face financial hardship, while local people bitterly say that they are only happy on YouTube. On the screen, the island nation looks like a dream. In real life, rent is still due and public debt has moved close to 90% of the size of the economy. Many young people who received free education are now considering leaving in search of better-paying jobs, while poverty remains concentrated in the rural south. This does not make paradise a lie. It simply makes Mauritius more human, a place where beauty and hardship exist side by side, and where its people have repeatedly found ways to rise again after loss. Number 6. When climate change threatens the paradise of Mauritius. Mauritius lies within the cyclone belt of the Indian Ocean, where storms commonly develop from November through April. In a single afternoon, a powerful tropical cyclone can flood roads, bring down power lines, and force schools and businesses across the island to close, while families wait behind tightly secured storm shutters. Time. This is an old danger that Mauritians have learned to live with. Yet another threat is moving more slowly and is far harder to see. As the ocean grows warmer, the coral reefs surrounding the island are bleaching and gradually dying, with severe episodes recorded in 2024 and 2025. These reefs once weakened incoming waves and sheltered marine life, but they are now becoming increasingly fragile. Along the coastline, the sea is reaching farther inland, while the island's famous beaches are shrinking one grain of sand at a time. Climate-related damage is estimated to cost nearly 0.8% of the economy each year, appearing in damaged shorelines and roads that must be rebuilt. Time, Srisganang. For a small island nation, losing the coast means there is almost nowhere left to retreat. The turquoise lagoons that create the image of paradise are also the areas most vulnerable to climate change. But Mauritius has already witnessed one species disappear forever, and it has also proven that people can fight to save what still remains. Number 5. The giant illusion beneath the ocean. Seen from above Le Morne, Brabant, on the southwestern coast of Mauritius, you will witness a scene so astonishing that your eyes can hardly believe it. In the middle of clear turquoise water, a massive white-gray swirl appears to plunge straight into the deep ocean floor. The effect is so powerful that you may wonder whether the ocean is truly collapsing into itself. But the truth is that the sea remains calm, and this underwater waterfall is only a spectacular visual illusion created by nature. Mauritius is a young volcanic island resting on an underwater shelf, and near Le Morne, that shelf drops suddenly into an abyss thousands of feet deep. Strong ocean currents constantly pull fine sand and sediment over the edge, while sunlight passing through the crystal-clear water highlights the dramatic difference in depth. It is this combination of sand, water, topography, and light that deceives the human eye and creates the image of a giant waterfall in the middle of the ocean. Viewed from an airplane or helicopter, the long streaks of sediment seem to move without end, making the entire scene look like a vast chasm swallowing the sea and leaving viewers frozen in awe for a few breaths. It is not only a famous place for photographs, but also a moment when nature quietly reminds us of its extraordinary power. Number 4. 7 Colored Earths. Mauritius's land of 7 colors. Amid the green forest of Chamarel, 7 Colored Earths appears like a piece of land that refuses to follow the familiar rules of nature. Before your eyes are rolling dunes of sand glowing beneath the tropical sun, where 7 shades, deep red, earthy brown, purple, green, blue, pale pink, and golden yellow stretch across the ground in soft bands like a giant woven carpet. Happiest. Those colors were formed from ancient volcanic ash that weathered over millions of years. Iron and aluminum in the soil left behind different minerals, allowing each band of color to remain distinct despite rain, wind, and time. The strangest part lies within the tiny grains of sand themselves. If you take two different colors and mix them thoroughly in your hand or inside a jar, they will not remain blended forever. After some time, the grains slowly separate and return to their own color groups. Time threes, as if each grain remembers exactly where it belongs. That phenomenon makes seven-colored Earths more than just a beautiful place to admire. It becomes a natural mystery that causes many visitors to pause and stare for a long time. In this place, sand, minerals, and time have come together to create a landscape that feels both brilliant and unbelievable, as if the land of Mauritius is telling its own story and leaving anyone who sees it with a sense of wonder. Number 3. Trou, the sleeping volcano in the heart of the city. In the center of modern Curepipe, where traffic moves and city life unfolds each day, Trou appears like a doorway leading directly into Mauritius's geological past. Just one turn away from the busy streets, you suddenly find yourself standing at the crater of an ancient volcano that once erupted with enormous force. After hundreds of thousands of years of silence, the red fire gave way to a deep basin completely covered in greenery. Seen from above, the crater resembles a giant emerald, with a small lake resting quietly at the bottom and dense vegetation surrounding it throughout the year. The force that once had the power to destroy everything now supports a landscape of almost unbelievable peace. That contrast makes Trou a place where a violent past and a calm present remain clearly visible side by side. From the summit, in the cool air of the Central Highlands, you can see mountain ranges stretching into the distance, neighborhoods spreading across the land, and the deep blue ocean along the horizon. Trou is more than a famous viewpoint. It is also a reminder that beneath peaceful streets and rooftops, the traces of volcanic fire still remain. The volcano may be sleeping, but its shape continues to tell the story of how Mauritius was born from fire and slowly covered itself in the green colors of life. Number 2. Rodrigues, the island forgotten by time. Leave the main island of Mauritius and travel about 348 miles east to reach Rodrigues, an autonomous island with its own distinct rhythm and identity. Although it shares the same national flag and time zone, Rodrigues feels like a world forgotten by time, where everything moves more slowly, more quietly, and closer to nature time. 3s. Upon arriving in Rodrigues, you will not find high-rise buildings or glamorous resorts. Instead, you will see wind-swept roads, rolling green hills, and a lagoon glowing beneath the tropical sun. Local life remains closely tied to traditional activities, such as octopus fishing, small community markets, and daily routines preserved across generations. People live close to the sea, close to the land, and close to one another, creating a sense of authenticity that crowded tourist destinations rarely retain time. 3s. Rodrigues is not for those who want to move quickly. It is a place to listen to waves breaking beyond the coral reef, walk slowly across empty beaches, and experience the untouched calm of the ocean. This island is a separate yet complete piece of the larger picture, making Mauritius feel deeper and more diverse. In this place, beauty is not found in luxury, but in the feeling that you have discovered a corner of the ocean that has remained unspoiled until today. Number 1. Where romantic dreams become reality. If there is one place made to turn romantic dreams into reality, Mauritius is certainly among the most remarkable choices. This island nation has long attracted couples who come to celebrate their weddings and enjoy their honeymoons in an almost perfect tropical setting. Time 3s. On soft white beaches, beneath arches of orchids and beside turquoise water, a wedding vow can become an unforgettable memory that lasts a lifetime. But the appeal of Mauritius goes far beyond its scenery. For international visitors, the marriage process is relatively simple and efficient, allowing couples to transform their journey into a real wedding, rather than only a romantic vacation. At Le Morne, you can exchange rings beneath the setting sun, while secluded resorts hidden within tropical forests offer almost complete privacy for 2x3s. Mauritius understands how to make love feel special through the smallest details. A dinner beside the ocean, a room overlooking the lagoon, or a quiet morning filled only with the sound of waves and wind. This place creates more than beautiful photographs. It preserves moments that may become the most meaningful memories in two people's lives. In Mauritius, every day together feels like a new chapter in a love story. After all we have seen, Mauritius is more than turquoise beaches, luxury resorts, or a paradise in the middle of the Indian Ocean. What truly sets this island apart is its people, who have learned to live together, share the same land, and keep their small nation united time. Yet behind that beauty are high living costs, climate change, and struggles that tourists rarely see. Mauritius is both a paradise and a deeply real place. Given the chance, would you want to visit this island? Share your answer in the comments, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel as we continue exploring other remarkable countries around the world.